The facts matter.
Good morning, everyone. Virgo here. It is December 7th, 2020, and happy Monday to everyone. So there's some interesting news coming out of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. That's a popular news source out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and I want to go ahead and read this to you. There's been a man accused of trying to scam car dealerships. It's an interesting scenario. A man who claimed to be a SovCit has been arrested by Las Vegas police, who said he tried to carry out a vehicle lien scam targeting Las Vegas Valley car dealerships over this last summer. Robert Gover III, 44 years old, of Las Vegas, is charged in Las Vegas Justice Court with 8 counts of burglary, 4 counts of obtaining money under false pretenses, theft, and 2 counts of attempted swindling of credit by false representation. Now, before I go any further, some of you may remember that there was a man named Marvin who actually attempted to try to do some things that this gentleman tried to do back a couple of years ago at a BMW dealership in Florida. That particular person, of course, spent some time in prison, and since then we have heard very little from him. However, he was actually a student of Mr. Harvey Dent, who was also the person who was behind Heather Ann Tucci Giraffe and Randall Keith Bean finding themselves spending collectively 20 years in prison. So, this Robert Gober III, police said their investigation started after they received several reports of Gober going into Valley car dealerships and demanding employees turn over new vehicles that he said belonged to him. Police said that Gober would provide a flurry of paperwork to the dealerships, claiming that he was the owner of the new vehicles and that he had liens on all of them. One dealership on Centennial Center Boulevard said Gober showed up on multiple days providing paperwork for a GMC Sierra that was valued at $104,000 and demanded the keys, quote, without financing through a bank or paying either by check or cash. The arrest report for Gober states Gober also told employees he is an agent for the sovereign nation and that his stamp is sufficient in exchange for the vehicles, the arrest report read. After an employee advised Gober that it does not work like that, Gober started to demand his vehicle and threatened to bring a tow truck and take it from the business. Employees at another dealership told police Gober did the same thing at their business, demanding they turn over a $70,000 Dodge Challenger Hellcat that he provided paperwork for but had not paid for. Gober insisted, of course, that the vehicle was his. Police then contacted a dealership on Drexel Road, which reported Gober came in 2 days prior to that and provided paperwork aimed at securing a 2020 Corvette, and it was worth $108,000 that was already sold to someone else. The manager stated that Gober made multiple threats to have the business shut down and that he was going to put liens on vehicles that were already sold, threatening placing a lien on the manager's personal home. The manager said at one point Gober said he was going to return to the dealership with an army and an AK-47 and actually fire at everyone. Detectives assigned to the case said that Gober's arrest report that they suspected his activities were attributable to the SovCit movement, which a detective described as, of course, individuals who believe that the government is essentially defunct, and said that sovereigns believe only one law, the UCC, applies to them. It's the the arrogance and the ignorance of these individuals is unbelievable. Most sovereigns will not claim to be sovereigns, as they've become aware of the negative law enforcement connotation with such terms, which is why you hear constantly that they claim not to be part of this movement. What we know that's not true, of course, based upon their ideology, the things that they believe, the things that they state. It's very, very obvious what movement they're a part of. Um, Instead, they will often vary their name to include an all lowercase version and file paperwork to have them listed as a foreign agent, a foreign entity, or place these crazy liens on people and things. When the detective examined paperwork produced by Gober at the dealerships, he found paperwork and tactics used by Gober to be symptomatic of course, the SovCit illegal forms of documentation. This consisted of a review of several UCC filing financial statements and amendments for the dealership, and listed the respective vehicles involved as quote-unquote real estate, and listing the secured party creditor as Robert M. Gober III LLC. The detective said that Gober even obtained Geico insurance cards and then would provide documentation to the dealership saying that he had a lien on the vehicle and would pick the vehicle up the following day. The paperwork with various legalese and official appearing documents is often used to cloud the intent of the paperwork, the criminality of the secured party, and convince the debtor to acquiesce to the demands of the SovCit individual. It is clear, based on your affiance training, education, and experience, that Gober was attempting to do just that, the detective wrote. While police were investigating Gober for the episodes at the dealerships, they learned he was also under investigation for the theft of a $45,000 BMW from Las Vegas rental car company in January. Gober was already arrested in that case. Police also wrote in an arrest report that Gober had threatened police, attorneys, and judicial officers involved in this case with committing paperwork fraud. Gober continually asserts he is not under the jurisdiction of the government, as he is operating as an LLC and not a person, police wrote. Court records do not list any attorney for Gober. He remains in custody as of Thursday morning. All right, one of the things that caught my eye to this, aside from the actual subscriber who forwarded it to me because it caught their eye also, and thank you to that person, you know who you are, is the fact that Marvin, the gentleman that I did the expose on a couple of years ago from the BMW dealership who pulled this kind of garbage, also had done this at a BMW dealership. And of course, we just heard that he had already been arrested for pulling this on a $45,000 vehicle from a BMW dealership. However, again, this was a Las Vegas rental car company, not the dealership in Florida that we know Marvin pulled this on. Also, I can tell you from the mugshot that you are looking at right now that this is not Marvin Miller. However, you can see that where they started out with just attempting automatic clearinghouse fraud and to pull things like check kiting, similar financial crimes that are on a much lower scale in reality, in terms of just the threats and the trauma that they cause to businesses. This is turning out to be something that is much more threatening and much more scary for the businesses that are involved. They're no longer just dealing with the banks and the police. They are now dealing with these people flying into their facilities and threatening employees and scaring people. So for a while, it had almost appeared as though the SovCit movement had slowed slightly. Don't assume that, because in reality, the pace has quickened. And although the watchdog group has been able to curtail some of the activity in the last 4 or 5 years of this happening, there are just as many people on the other side that are attempting to try to grow this movement in very dangerous ways. So we will keep an eye on this as we do all of the cases that we research and bring you any additional information that's pertaining to this party. He's currently under arrest and incarcerated and is not a threat at the moment. However, we do want to keep an eye on it. I think that judges are becoming a little more apt to understand how dangerous these people can be, how damaging they can be to businesses and people alike. And so they're keeping a closer eye on them, not giving them as much leeway to go back out there and do it again. However, in areas where there hasn't been a lot of SovCit activity, we need to keep an eye on it, because sometimes they will just bail out and turn around and go back to doing the same exact thing, even if their court case has not been finalized. So, we need to watch it. We're going to be, like I said, keeping a close eye on this. And this is something where if you as a subscriber happen to run across any documentation like this, please forward it to me, virgotriad@protonmail.com, or you can go to virgotriad.com, my website, and you can always reach me on the contact tab there. There's also a chat, a messenger within virgotriad.com that you can leave me a message at, should you want to. You guys keeping your eyes out for this kind of stuff helps me to make sure that it gets out there. I only have one set of eyes, so as many sets of eyes as we, can have working on this stuff, the better. All right, everyone. I hope everybody has a great day. I will try to bring you another video today, but I can't make any promises. As you know, I'm dealing with some family stuff right now. So I will do the best I can, but if not, I will have a new one up for you tomorrow. And I hope everyone takes good care and stays safe out there. All right, you guys. Bye-bye.